The city of Chicago is at its breaking point, especially in the South Side. The South and the West Side of Chicago are notably infamous for having African Americans there, both good and bad. And we already know that both of those sides of town are known for its drill music and gang violence. But it's gonna get even worse, or should I say it has gotten worse, because now Venezuelan gangs are there. I want to talk about a very interesting person in this perspective, Mr. Tyrone Muhammad. You might have remembered him 5 years ago. There were some Asian nail shops disrespecting black women, and he went and he broke out those windows of the shops and went to jail for it. And the whole city praised him for it. He got, I don't know how much money raised on GoFundMe to basically get out of jail. But Tyrone Muhammad also has a checkered past. He used to be with the Gangster Disciples, but he's turned his life around. And now he has a very interesting podcast, Ex-Cons for Trump.
And this is Kyla Truss, my co-host. Y'all seen her on Fox. And she's a strong advocate for our community and been on the front line with this fight. It's the day that migrants came over, she was on the front line. So here we go. Continue.
And you know what? Let me just say this, because, you know, I also have to talk about something I saw over the weekend where it says that black people are hating on the migrants. Let me tell y'all one thing, and let me be perfectly clear. Real? Yes, it is real. And let me just say to the people over in Hyde Park, and I hope you all are listening, let me be real freaking clear. Our issue ain't with the migrants.
No, it's not.
Our issue is with our Democratic lawmakers. Our issue is with Mayor Brandon Johnson. Our issue is with Governor Pritzker.
That's right.
Our issue is with the Biden administration,
yes.
And that includes Kamala Harris. That is who our issue is with. Okay? Let's be clear. We don't have a problem with the migrants. The migrants ain't our issue. Our issue is our people that we elected.
Because the migrants didn't give themselves that money, did they?
Not only did they not give it to it, the migrants ain't the reason that they're here. They didn't allow them to come over here illegally. It was the government that allowed that. I ain't got no beef with them.
The migrants didn't just walk themselves over here without our assistance.
But we got a beef.
I'm talking about boats. Talking about buses and planes and trains.
And
who paid for that?
Shout out to him and Kyla Truss. Now, I know what you're going to say. This guy, Tyrone Muhammad, he's a sellout. You know, this guy, Tyrone Muhammad, he's just out here buffooning for the white man. You're wrong. I have not heard of anybody talking bad about this man, all right? And I first came across him 5 years ago. This brother is out here doing social change in the community. He's working with ex-cons. He's protecting the citizens. He's doing a lot of stuff in Black Chicago. So can't nobody say it about this man, all right? Not one. This is a brother that is in the community and also a upstanding member in the Nation of Islam. But the question is, why is somebody like Tyrone Muhammad in a fully Democratic black city voting for Trump?
It is impossible to release gang members and criminals into our country through the borders and broken walls and then infiltrate them in our community that's already impoverished, that's already broken, that's already disinvested in. When the black gangs, the leadership in the black gangs in Chicago get fed up with the illegalities and the criminal activity of these migrants or non-citizens, the city of Chicago is going to go up in smoke, it's going to go up in flame, and it's going to be nothing that the National Guard or our government can do about it when the bloodshed hit the streets, blacks against migrants.
And listen to Tyrone Muhammad's words. It's going to be a war that the National Guard can't stop. Nobody can stop this. And I got to agree with what Kyla Truss said earlier. She's not upset with the migrants. They're not the problem. The problem are the people who are letting in the migrants. And it's not like these migrants are coming over here and just using benefits or just getting jobs. Nope. These gang members, Tren de Aragua, that's where they're from, I guess the name of the gang, they're also doing things like this.
The migrants that are coming, they're taking over every block right now in this area. Right now, you don't see them because they come out at night. They said they took this courtway over probably about last week. They said it was 100 Venezuelans standing out in the front right here.
Terry, is it an abandoned building? How do they just take it over?
When you take over something, you just stand outside, and that's called showing the flag.
What kind of guns?
Semi-automatics, anything you name, you're gonna see it on the street. These boys got so many big guns that if they're 150 pounds, the gun is bigger than them. I swear.
But they know how to handle it, right? They know what. Tell me about the fact that they're criminals, right? This is a criminal element. These aren't just a bunch of Venezuelans that walked over the border and used to be gardeners back home, right?
Right. And they come from the gangland. They come from rougher gangs than us.
100 Venezuelan gangs outside of apartment complexes with big guns. All right, this is what they're doing. And some could even say they may have as much artillery, heavy artillery, as the blacks. And they come from a gang culture that's much more organized and much more dangerous. So that's gonna put some of the black gang members at bay, because these guys are right there on their scene. And they're coming into Black Chicago just taking up buildings. And see, let me just say this, because I've heard the black gang members become upset about this. And, they're letting these guys come over here. They've said something like these guys are getting benefits.
He's a leader on the streets and said he's disgusted by the money going to Venezuelan migrants at the expense, he says, of the African-American community.
And I finally actually talked to him on the translator app, and he told me all the things that he got going on, how they help him get a car, apartment, clothes, link. So it's just I just be looking at it like they ain't got no social security number. Where they come from? He probably not even here legally.
But the reality is, these dudes are gangsters, hardcore gangsters, hard body gangsters. At first, they were replacing migrants in the workforce, competing for your jobs now. Now you're gonna be competing for prison spots with these same gangsters. And these are dudes who ain't got nothing to lose. These are dudes who are just crazy with it. These are dudes who will do anything. And these dudes are more gangster on average than the actual black gangs. They're more united, they got more direction, and they are more dangerous. And they put these people in the black community. Who puts those people there? The Democrats. You see, I've been getting so many hate messages. I get a lot of emails every day from brothers and sisters who are upset with me because I want to vote for another party than the Democrats. And I'm voting for this same party, the same reason why Tyrone Muhammad is doing it, because we actually love black people. Now, I'm not saying that if you're a Democrat, you don't necessarily love black people or anything like that, but I am saying that there's a level of misinformation that we might not understand. And again, we all are misinformed to a certain level. But you see all the Democratic issues that should be helping blacks, like Black Lives Matter. They don't care anything about this, They're replacing blacks in every aspect, not only in the classroom, not only in the workforce, but also in the jail cell. They want to get rid of you completely. And then you talk about these guys like, oh, they're supporting Trump, I can't talk to them. So should we vote for the people that are going to replace us? Even in the criminal underworld? This is crazy, right? They're not even going to just replace you in the corporate world. Nah, they gonna get rid of you, and even in the O blocks and the South Sides and the West Sides, and even those dudes who are doing the corrupt things, they gonna get them in there too. So where does that leave you? Your communities are already impoverished. The man already admitted the South Side is already impoverished. It already lacks resources. Then what they do is amp these people up because they got to be getting some kind of help, right? They got to be getting some kind of money or funding to stay there. Who's giving them that money? Like the brother said, who's helping them? Who's assisting them? Then you have good brothers like this man who's in his middle, he's 53 years old. He's out there doing the best he can, trying to help the community, trying to help brothers, trying to help black women. And see, y'all can't pull that card on this guy because this is a brother that went to jail for standing up for on behalf of black women. I remember when it happened. I was talking to Brother Phil from the Advise show. I said, man, that brother is crazy for breaking the windows, knowing damn well them sisters is going back in there the next day to get their hair and nails and feet done, which they did. and he did look a little silly when they did that, but I did like the attitude that the brother said, listen, you're not gonna disrespect the women in the community. So the reason why I'm defending him, because y'all gonna get in the comments, some of you people out here, and talk about this man, disrespect this black man, when he is doing more for the community than most of y'all that are talking like this. He lives in the heart of probably one of the worst, notorious, dangerous black cities in the history of America, and this is a brother out there all the time doing the work. So if he sees it, and if he says he ain't voting Democrat, it's not because he's a sellout or he like even love Donald Trump. He want the best for the community. The question is, why do so many blacks don't want that? Or why do they have a difference with that? Can y'all not see where this is leading us? Can y'all not see that we've been replaced? We're getting replaced. They had dilapidated housing in Black Chicago. They were supposed to fix that up and give that property back to the black people in the community. They didn't do that. They waited to the migrants to come in, and then the migrants got all that housing. They fixed these houses up. Now they got money for this. Then you get a black mayor who's supposed to be down. The black community support this mayor, and look at what the mayor has done. You already seen your boy Eric Adams and went down in New York City. Now Brandon Johnson, they're gonna bring him down next. That's what happens when you in bed with crooks. And the black community gotta pay. The black community continues to suffer. Everybody that deals with the democratic systems as African Americans, their opportunities are bleak. They get replaced. Okay? They get replaced. At what point do we say enough's enough? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy L. Jackson back at it again with another episode here of King Ganda. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.